Show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's main event. Drop kick now and powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, why this up? Oh, captain, my captain, shoulder stuff. Power slammer, suplex 2. Hot garbage is just for you. Beat breaker, cut a cold red. Figure 4, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ, strong style. Chop, this is how it do. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event.
Hey, what is up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark back here with you yet again on another Friday. This is episode number 370, Tom Clark's main event live and in living bright color. I look like I'm in the core of the sun, for crying out loud. How's everybody doing? How's your week been? Hope it's good. My week's been very interesting. It didn't end on the best possible note. However, we press on. We press on like the Lee press-on nails. Showing my age. Those old commercials. We press on, man. Things could be better. They can always be much worse, right? So I'm keeping a positive outlook, positive attitude, because really what else do you have in this day and age? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to, we've already got the ticker ticking on the bottom. I just realized that sucker could be a little behind. Oh, but that is easily fixed. Watch this. And there we go. Episode 370. Apologies for not being ready. As I said, it's been a long week. It's been an eventful week. And I'm glad that you guys are here today as people continue to come in. Do me a favor, kids, if you will. Share this around on your feed. Whatever social channels you are looking at today or that you're using today, not just the Facebook, but also the Instagram, which you can't do links there. I'll never understand I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like, you don't give the opportunity to use links, because if you do, you're encouraging people to leave your platform. Instagram's got a real thing about that. But we also know that Meta is owned by not the so savory type. Yeah. Hey, look, man, I call it like I see it. So it is what it is. But if you will, be so kind as to share this around all of your social media platforms. That would be awesome. Today is the 9th edition of Ask Tom Anything, which means we open the floor up to questions. And depending on whether or not we get much of an audience in here today, we may not even go a full hour. We'll see what happens. But it's Friday. Friday's always a bit sluggish on the kickoff time. People are ready to start the weekend, man. I got to be honest with you. I am too. I don't have a whole lot going on this weekend, but enough to keep me busy. And, as I said, it's been a long week, so it'd be good to kind of unplug and relax and not have to mentally wipe yourself out, as we all tend to do who live in this digital age, this digital existence. I've binged a lot of Kevin Smith stuff lately. Finally, I'm almost caught up. I was like 3 weeks behind. Suddenly, he started doing his podcast pretty regularly when he was like just popping on whenever he could, yeah. And then suddenly they did like 3 weeks in a row. He and Mark Bernardin did, and I'm like, man, I'm suddenly behind. So I'm in the process of catching up. But it feels like a lifetime ago since I interviewed Kevin Smith. It's amazing how things just, time marches on, right? No sense in looking backward. Got to look forward, kids. Always forward, always, right? So let's talk about a few things here, whether or not anybody tunes in live. Again, the doors are still open. What's up, Josh? Good to see you. JP's here. I appreciate both of you very much. And again, it's Friday. Everybody's probably busy. Probably some folks are not yet off work. And I totally understand that. We may look at adjusting the time. I'll be honest with you. There have been moments when I've questioned if going live even makes any sense anymore. I don't know. The main event wasn't live for a lot of years until it was. And it's been live now for a good long time. But I don't know, man. Part of me wonders, is it time to dial back, on the podcast? I don't know how I feel about that. Part of me says, well, I'd be lost without it, which, we took a break here at the end of 2024. Good long break. It's just how it was. Actually, I could be mistaken. Maybe that was last year. Oh man, I can't remember. Again, time flies, man. What are you going to do? But I've contemplated it. I've contemplated it. Whether or not I will pull this from being a live pod back to just being pre-recorded, I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned for that. Let's talk about a few things here, pro wrestling wise. And again, this is Ask Tom Anything number 9. It's just a way for me to not have to do a whole lot of, because I haven't had a lot of time to prep the show, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. JP says second day of opening season for baseball. I've never been into baseball. I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I'm like, I've just never been a fan. I appreciate the athleticism. I appreciate the hard work. I appreciate the time away from family and the time spent on the road and the time spent pursuing championships. It's just not for me, man. I've never got anything from baseball. I think a lot of that has to do with how you're raised and what you're raised around, right? For me personally, baseball was never on my TV when I was growing up. Pro wrestling was. NFL was never on my TV growing up. Pro wrestling was. And, it's one of those things where it's like, you could gravitate to it later in life, but I don't know, man. I just never had the desire to be a fan. I enjoy NBA, haven't watched religiously in years, but I did watch pretty regularly when Jordan was playing. Haven't really done much with it since then. And then, in the years following when Iverson and the Sixers were getting hot and everything. But never really been a baseball guy, man. It's not really up to me, or not really for me, I should say. I'm more of a pro wrestling guy and geek culture kind of dude. So let's talk about a few things here. I'm not going to say it's a slow news day, but there's not a whole lot of things kind of happening out there right now. But here's what I'll tell you. I had a talk. Phil and I recorded this past week episode of Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and we did. What did we do? Oh, we did Captain America: Brave New World. Look for that next week, right? On Tuesday. Don't miss it. But he and I were talking and off mic before and after the show, and it was like we were talking about TNA came up. It's like, TNA's making some moves, man. I wonder what's going on. I'm like, well, I just imagine that TNA at some point is going to get bought out by WWE, and he agreed with that. Now, I don't know how close we are to it, and I don't know to what extent WWE would use. First of all, they would get the library, which probably to them means more than the brand does. But that's just me talking. So they would get, all the archives of Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and America's Most Wanted and all that stuff. But, would they turn it into NXT 2.0? Would it become NXT in that time slot? Would the Tuesday night show, there's been, you can discuss, or two brands still, do 3 brands make sense? Should there be Raw, SmackDown, and NXT? Should there be a 4th brand? I mean, what? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't want to see the TNA brand go away personally. I don't watch religiously, but I've always felt like TNA next to Ring of Honor were the 2 stalwarts outside of WWE. And if all else failed, Ring of Honor and TNA would still be cracking, still be going, right? But I'll be honest with you, man. The way things look right now, it looks as though, it may be on the way out. But I don't know. That's just me talking. Maybe it's got another 10 years. I don't know. I have any way of knowing. But that's just me kind of throwing it out there. JP, I appreciate your comment. Now no cast of characters around today, my friend. Everybody's, again, Friday's a tough point. JP says, boys, I think we just started talking about that. Gail Kim has posted on social media a statement saying this is not the end of Gail Kim in the wrestling world. Look, any pro wrestling company, New Japan, AEW, WWE would be a fool not to pick up Gail Kim. I mean, honestly, a fool not to pick up Gail Kim, man. So yeah. She said, quote, just want to say thank you to the fans, friends, and especially my peers for all the support you have given me over the last few days. I've received such an enormous amount of love and has really helped process this change for me. And, this will not end my passion for love for wrestling. And this is not the end of Gail Kim in the wrestling world. You don't put 17 years into one company and stop when you're this passionate. I look forward to sharing my journey, and I'm taking some time for myself to prepare for what's ahead, looking forward to the future, end quote. I love Gail Kim. I got to be honest with you, man. If you don't like Gail Kim, there is something seriously wrong with you. She is a class act, man. A class act. JP says if TNA is bought by WWE, maybe they get a better TV deal as their partner. I mean, at that point, Jeff, TNA, you're owned by WWE. That's it. Why would they even still keep calling them TNA? Why would they even still keep them branded that way? Would it be WWE TNA? It's interesting. I don't know. I think anything could happen. And again, I'm not predicting the end is near for TNA. Nothing like that. However, I would not be surprised. Again, just me talking. Ray's here. What's up, Ray? All day says thoughts on FTR promo. I thought it was weird. I mean, they're both going to turn heel on Copeland, is what I assume. That's what I think we're going to see. Now, they'll explain it. I don't know what the explanation is going to be. Maybe it's, what Dax said, hey, this is, this should be about us as a tag team. And he's not wrong. Like, hey, we started this, this stuff with rated FTR and everything was great. And then it didn't work out. Like, he didn't win the title. He kind of put Cope on blast, right? Hey, man, it is what it is. I would not be surprised to see Dax and Cash both turn on Cope. You know what I think they want? And I think, look, everybody's predicting this. Everybody's predicting Edge and Christian, Cope and Christian versus FTR. But you know what else everybody predicted? Christian was going to cash in, that Cope was going to be champion, and Christian was going to take it from him because, Tony wants Christian and Cope in the lineage of the championship. And we were all wrong about that. All of us were dead wrong about that. So is it going to happen that FTR face Cope and Christian? Man, I don't know. That's a good question, dude. Good question. Jeff said WWE bought Evolve and kept the name Evolve. That's fair. I enjoyed Evolve, man. We went to a few of those shows, my kid and I did. Gerald, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Gerald, you still got a great avatar. I submit your Christmas picture is unbeatable, but that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll see. Again, we have to spend a lot of time on TNA, but I just kind of want to throw it out there. What else is happening? What do you guys think about the Ryan Nemeth situation? He has come out, he's suing AEW and CM Punk, and now AEW is countersuing, and Nemeth is calling it a pathetic attempt to humiliate and intimidate. So Nemeth is on Substack. I am too, by the way, but I haven't written anything on the Substack in a while. I probably will coming up this week. But he went into detail about being countersued by Tony Khan and AEW in an attempt to compel arbitration in the suit that Ryan filed against Tony and AEW and Punk, elaborating on a social media post from several days ago that he was sued by a literal billionaire. He said, the night of our second and final performance, I was approached by a man in the theater lobby just outside the restroom. He said he was there to serve me legal papers and apologized for doing it at this inappropriate time. He was giving me a legal notice that my former employer was suing me to move our legal dispute to arbitration to keep everything private. And then he chose not to keep it private. And he went to the internets to tell his story. Let me say this before everybody wants to bash Ryan Nemeth in the head with a steel chair. I'm going to remind you of something that I've been telling you for a year and longer. Never side with the billionaire company. Just don't do it. I mean, I guess you can. It's a free country, at least for right now. But it's not a good look. You want to know why? What do you have in common with a billionaire? Honest to God. You got more in common with Ryan. The you, meaning everybody here and later, have more in common with Ryan Nemeth than you ever will Tony Khan. I promise you that. Okay? So, Why side with the company? And put it to you this way. Do you side with your team? Now, this may be a little bit different. Let's say the Lakers are your team. You're ride and die with the Lakers. So are you a player fan or are you a team fan? I guess I can kind of understand if you want to circle that argument back to me and use that as an example. It's a great example. I can't lie. But, in my mind, pro wrestling is not sports. They use the word sport. I've used the word sport. Everybody uses the word sport. It's a catchy little word. We all know it's not sport. It's not competitive. It's not real. So with everyone being independent contractors, this idea of, well, I pulled for this guy till he went to the other company. Now I don't like him. I don't know, man. I just got a hard time with that. I just got a real hard time with that, So before anyone wants to bash Ryan Nemeth in the head and call him a loser or a joke or a jerk or whatever you want to call him, let's think twice. Let's slow down and understand that it's his life. It's his story. It's not your story. It's not your life. So whatever it is that happened to him, that he felt the urge, he felt compelled to sue, he's got a story to tell. Now, whether or not it's BS, I can't say. Only he can say that. What's up, Wilf? Good to see you. It's snowing in Winnipeg. Wilf, my friend, you can have that snow all day. Gerald points out sports entertainment. Yeah, that's true. Sports entertainment. Yeah, look, man, again, I don't know Ryan's full story, but, at the same time, man, whatever that story is, it's his to tell. It is absolutely his to tell. Speaking on what's going on with TNA, so let me circle back to it real quick. Supposedly, they have from their Instagram, but their Twitter said next week on Access TV, TNA around the world, it's an all new Impact, and they're promising something very big. So, we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know, man. Yeah, a groundbreaking, I was just listening, a groundbreaking announcement. Hey, man, whatever that is, it is what it is. JP, yes, next week I will be on Peaches and Powerbomb's tailgate party, I think. I think it's a tailgate party. No, or is it just Peaches and Powerbomb? I don't remember. With that gang to preview AEW Dynasty. Boom. And plus, we're going to have some guests next week, too, in the main event. I just got messaged. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to preview next week. So be sure to look out for links. And it looks like next Friday, we will have Ben Jackson. Ben Jackson? Yeah. And Jay Luft. Ben, they call Big Tasty. So yes, absolutely. I'm attempting to in real time respond, which is very rude. My apologies. So I will try not to do that. Ray says Thursday, 4:30. By the way, my kid is not working. He's helping his mom. She's having a yard sale tomorrow. There you go. By the way, kids, this is Ask Tom Anything. Nothing's off the table except for politics and religion. Let's leave that stuff out. Because, hey, man, we're trying to all get along. Will says it's a better show with just you. Man, aren't you sweet? Aren't you just made of sugar? Wilf, I appreciate you watching, man. I appreciate you very much. I love podcasting with other guys and gals, man. It's a fun time. Like, there's been very few times in my podcasting career, if we're going to call it that I have come away from a show feeling like it wasn't awesome. Just it's like in terms of who I did it with, just a few times. I've been pretty lucky. I've been very fortunate to record with some very smart people. Some very smart people, for sure. So, what is it you guys would like to talk about? You want to hit on NWA? Well, that too, I guess. AEW, WWE, Bobby Cruz, by the way, little tidbit. I caught the tail end of this saying that his contract was up, and I thought, please do not tell me you're letting Bobby Cruz go. But no, He signed a new contract with AEW and Ring of Honor. Good for him. Good for him. He is the voice of Ring of Honor, kids, for sure. Congratulations to Ricochet. He's a newly married Ricochet. He and Samantha Irvin officially have tied the knot. Good for them. Congratulations to those two. And hang on and buckle in, kid, and good luck. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? Older married guys always feel compelled to throw comments out there. They always feel compelled to throw comments out there. Talking about, oh, you get married. Oh, well, good luck. Everyone did it to me. And I was very anti that behavior. And now I'm in that chair and I do it all the time. All the time, baby. I'm just saying. Ray All Day says, thoughts on Cena's new promo. Can I be straight? It is my show. I didn't care for it. I love John. I always have. I like him. I like him a lot. Let's put it that way. I appreciate the guy. I truly do. It's nothing personal. I think he's doing whatever that they feel is the best way to handle it. In my opinion, it was weak. In my opinion, they had a lot of momentum after that heel turn. And in my opinion, that momentum has stalled. Just me talking. You don't have to buy that. You can go, listen to someone else's opinion and think it's awesome. Maybe I'm off base, right? But in my opinion, it's just not, I kind of was hoping for more and kind of expected more. And I kind of feel like we didn't get that. So it was kind of frustrating. However, not the end of the world. Everything's going to be okay, right? But yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of it. And again, I like John a lot. It's nothing against him. If this is the way they feel that that's going to make sense for this storyline, let them do whatever they want to do. JP says it was saying to podcast with someone so you can actually have a discussion rather than feeling like you're talking to yourself the entire time. That is good and bad, and it's right and wrong, right? Because like you are 100% right that it allows you to bounce ideas off people. But there are some moments when it becomes, the more people you have, sometimes you have to, navigate traffic. You have to throw it to your guests. You got to keep everybody involved. That's not too very hard, but it can be challenging. You want to give everybody equal airtime. You're like the director of the Avengers, right? I mean, you're like the Russo brothers. It's my job to give everybody time because if you're on my show, you're on my show because I feel you're good. And because you got something to bring to the conversation. None of us are making a ton of money doing this. Can I be honest? However, I want to record with people who are smart and who bring something to the table and who, after my shows are done, that my guests are like, man, that was a good show. That's what I want. That's what I enjoy doing. And anyone that can't step up, anyone that can't come to the table in fighting form, and I don't mean that like debate. I don't mean debating, but in prime form to really give a good show, kind of wasting my time. So anytime I have folks on, it's in my opinion or in my head, it's like, all right, these guys can go. Let's do this. They can work, right? But at the same time, again, the main event was a one-man show until it wasn't. And I like talking. You guys know that, don't you? I've been talking for years. So I enjoy talking. And because I enjoy talking, I can do one-man shows and it's not a problem, But sometimes it does get a little quiet. And see, the other good thing is that when it's time to wrap it up, I can wrap it up, sign off, tell you guys, see you next week, take my headphones off and go home. But on times when I have guests, first of all, I don't want to be rude. Second, I thoroughly enjoy talking to everybody I podcast with. So the hours just melt away. And soon I'm getting texted, when are you coming home? And I'm like, oh crap, how long have I been here? Hey man, that's kind of where I'm at. But no, there's benefit in both, if I'm being honest with you. There's benefit in both, for sure. JP, I appreciate you very much, man. He says, acknowledge me. E, be nice. We're trying to fill the room up, and it's been a long, tough haul. We've only got 30 minutes left. JP says, seeing this promo would be more believable, but everyone knows it's only temporary. I firmly agree. I don't think his 2025 will end with him as a heel. I just don't see it. But that's me talking. That's just me talking. Rob Van Dam recently came out and said that he would rather be associated with WWE than AEW. And this is from One of a Kind podcast, his podcast. Quote, I thought, it's not my thing, not my kind of thing. That's not wrestling to me. But obviously it's sacrificing a lot for the business. I mean, that could be said about it. But the more WWE has been doing stuff like that, the more personally I feel like I'd rather be associated with WWE than AEW. And he is referencing, end quote, by the way, he is referencing, and you guys probably already know what I'm going to say, the board with the nails that Cope put in John's back. This is the guy that worked in ECW. Let's wrap our heads around this. Rob Van Dam, who cut his teeth in a company called Extreme Championship Wrestling, who went through tables, barbed wire, maybe some fire, RVD. Everybody around him sure did. Trash can lids, baseball bats, exploding C4 with Terry Funk, right? But he says, this is not my kind of thing. That's not wrestling to me. Hey man, to each his own. It's been 100 years since I interviewed Rob Van Dam, and I don't know the guy personally. And he has earned his opinion. He has put his time in. I think it's weird. And to me, it's weird, but it does not mean he's wrong. It just means that it's one more guy with another opinion on AEW. That's all I'm saying. JP says ECW known for blood and guts wants nothing to do with WWE. Hey, that's exactly my point. Sugar Shane is here. Shane, you are so late. Is there any tag team in wrestling history, past or present, that would have been better as a single competitors? That's a big one. You'd have to cut that down for me. I don't know what you mean. Like, look, if you can cut it down and say, is there a tag team that wasn't really successful that could have been better if they were singles? That kind of answers itself, because like if they were better as singles, maybe they would have been singles and not a tag team, right? Because if the guys in the team don't see it, the promoter sure would, I would imagine. But if you think about successful tag teams, I mean, Bobby Eaton on his own was fine. He was always in a stable. Bobby Eaton alone was fantastic. And in a tag team, of course, legend, right? I mean, there's plenty of examples like that. Ricky had a good little run against Flair. You got Shawn Michaels, of course. I mean, there's examples of it through the years. Steamboat and Jay Youngblood were a tag team before until they weren't. Flair and Valentine. A lot of good examples of it. I think maybe Shane, guys, means that, somebody that could have been a better as a singles competitor, but maybe didn't do it. So, yeah. RVD went on to say, it's really crazy dangerous. I don't want to knock their freedom of expression. I think, that's probably cool to them, I guess, or else they would turn it down when it was at the idea phase if it didn't sound cool. So congratulations pulling off crazy stunt, death-defying stunt, for better or worse, end quote. And again, he is entitled to his opinion, and he has earned it. Cedric Alexander, which by the way, I can't believe it hadn't happened yet, is 100% hoping to reunite with the Hurt Syndicate in AEW. And I'm telling you right now, we need Cedric Alexander in the Hurt Syndicate. And I like MJF a lot. This is not MJF's spot. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make any sense. MJF has always been out for himself. We all know this. And I don't know what kind of angle they're running here. In AEW, it's hard to figure out what angle's happening at one time. For what reason? Really hard to know, to be honest with you. So, until we know, we don't know. But I don't foresee this actually becoming a group with MJF. And I would love to see him back. So Alexander was recently talking with Chris Van Vliet, and he said everything's fine. He was talking about his release from WWE, And he says, once I got that news, I wasn't even mad. It kind of felt like a pressure was lifted off my shoulders. And then, went on to talk about the Hurt Syndicate, and basically said that he was 100%, he wanted to join the Hurt Syndicate in AEW. So it's a big chapter in my career that I really felt was never fully explored. I agree with that. Just imagine Cedric Alexander against Buddy Murphy. Against any number of guys in that company. Are you kidding me? Him and Ricochet, you name it. They've probably worked already, but I'm just trying to think of guys that he could get in there and just really tear it up with. Him and Ospreay. Man. Alexander's very good. Plus, he's a Charlotte boy. I got to give love to the local guys, man. I got to. Blackjack. Brianne Milligan is here. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. And Robbie made it. Robbie's so late. Robbie, I hope you brought cookies for everybody. He says, I heard the band was known as Delirious is now hitting TNA Wrestling. During their history, few have lasted as head of TNA. Do you think Delirious could add excitement to the company? I love Delirious. He was the head booker for Ring of Honor for years, as you know. If anybody could help, I was going to say turn around. I don't know what they need to turn around, or if they feel that they need to turn around anything. But I've always liked Delirious, so we'll see what he can bring to the table. Thank you, Brianne. I appreciate you. Kids, before we continue any farther, do me a favor, for 22 seconds out of your day, watch this, and please don't forget it.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today, boinkstudios.com.
There we go, kids. boinkstudios.com. Please go check it out. All the podcast links to all the shows are there. Links to all my guest hosts and co-hosts are there. And also Boink Studios on the YouTube. Boink Studios, go subscribe, like, and subscribe. All the stuff there. That'd be awesome. And I would appreciate it. We're not getting into politics. You know how I feel. No politics. By the way, in case you hadn't heard, WB Evolution is reportedly coming back. 7 years. It only took 7 years. It only took 7 years for it to get here. That's all. Isn't that crazy? This is via WrestleVotes. Confirmed that it is indeed happening. After speaking with sources, we can confirm WWE is set to bring back the highly anticipated Evolution. I'm not going to say PLE. I freaking hate that. The return of the all-women's event. Just call it an event. Why we got to do that? Is expected to be officially announced before WrestleMania. So there you go. Fingers crossed. I always believed Evolution should be a yearly event. I don't know why it's taken so long to get back to this point. Remember how they were like, we're changing the business. We're changing the industry with this Evolution stuff, man. People going to love it. It's the women, yo. Women, girl power. And then they didn't do it again. Isn't that awesome? Ray says, you think Mandy Rose will ever come back? Heard rumors she might. Ray, if I were Mandy, I would never come back to pro wrestling again. If her OnlyFans is still doing what it was doing before, from what I've always understood, she's made more money doing that than she ever did with WWE. And I'm going to tell you something. If it's a matter of scantily clad pictures, maybe even completely naked pictures, versus getting dropped on your head 8 days a week, and the other gig pays better, yeah. I want to be able to use my mind 5 years from now. I don't want to suddenly, I can't remember things. Suddenly I have weird aches and pains that weren't there the day before that I have to live with for the rest of my life. I'm a firm believer women should be allowed to do whatever women want to do. And if a woman wants to create an OnlyFans account and do her thing, that she should be allowed to do that. And if people don't like that, they don't have to look at it. I just got a real problem with a bunch of white guys telling everybody else how to live. It's not for me. I don't like it being done to me. I'm pretty sure women don't enjoy being told what to do, and they shouldn't be told what to do. So good for her. If I were Mandy, I'd never come back. However, I'm not her. She's a little bit better looking than I am. Way more successful than I am. And probably a lot smarter too. So who knows? Maybe we'll see her back. He said, do you think Woman or Elizabeth should be in the Hall of Fame? Elizabeth should be in the Hall of Fame. They're putting Lex in. Elizabeth should be in the Hall of Fame. It's time. Woman, I just don't think they can do it. I just think it opens up a whole other can of worms with Benoit, and I just don't. I personally don't want anything to do with it. And that's nothing against her memory or her family or anything like that. But I just think putting that back in front of people just stirs up a lot of stuff that shouldn't be stirred up. And, he's trying to get on my good side, asking him how my 40th birthday was last week. 39th, but I'll let it slide. It was good. I worked all day Friday, so it wasn't exactly the birthday that I was kind of hoping for. But, better to work and get paid than not work at all, right? It was good. It was good. I got no complaints, man. I got this shirt. Y'all are jealous of my Outcast shirt. Don't even lie. I'm a fan. What can I say? Yeah, it was good. I got no complaints. We went out to eat and halfway through regretted it because it wasn't awesome. But, I managed to make it work. Look, dude, I can make anything work. I am never going to be that guy that throws his hands up and says, I'm out. I can't make this work. I always find a way. Let me tell you something. When you're born with nothing and you grow up with nothing, you learn real quick how to make something out of the nothing. So I can be anywhere and I can put up with anything and I can make anything work. That's just how I've always been wired. I think I'd be good in a crisis situation. I don't know if I'd ever describe myself as an alpha male or anything, macho like that. But I do think I'd be good to have around in crunch time because the way my mind works has always been, let's figure this out. I don't want to be the guy with his hands up in the air running around screaming fire as things burn down. That's not me. Usually I'm the guy on the other side of the room going, how can we put this fire out? Let's talk about it. What can we do? You know what I mean? How can we fix this? What can we do to make this right? That's kind of how I've always been. That's who I be. He always asks about Patrick. You never ask about Pris, man. My cats are good. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate you. Ray says, saw Dark Side of the Ring with Mick Foley. Was tough to see. Thank you, Ray. I've not seen that. I told you guys, I don't do a whole lot anymore I don't really mess too much with Dark Side of the Ring. I just like to stay upbeat and positive, man. That's just me, though. I just like to stay upbeat and positive. So we've got Dax and Wheeler, Utah on Coliseum this weekend. That should be a good match. They're keeping this Death Riders thing going with FTR, rated FTR, whatever they're calling them. That should be interesting to see. What'd you guys think about Blake Christian and Kenny Omega? Is that Blake Christian a nerd or not? You look at Blake Christian, that dude looks like he sits behind a computer all day. I mean, I sit behind a computer all day. But the point is, he looks like he could work on Geek Squad at Best Buy. And then he starts working, and you're like, oh my God. Blake Christian is one of the most unremarkable looking pro wrestlers I've ever laid eyes on. And that is not an insult. There's no flash. There's no sizzle. And again, I mean, not sizzle. I don't mean that. There's not a lot of glitz with him. That's a better word than sizzle. There's sizzle for sure with that guy. Are you kidding me? But there's not a lot of glitz. There's not a lot of showtime with him. He's just like, let's go, man. Let's work. Let's tear the house down. I like Blake Christian a lot, dude. Big fan. He's really grown on me too. What did you guys think about Saraya leaving WWE? If you think that we're not going to get Paige at some point, you've lost your mind, I'll tell you. Paige is coming back. Don't know when. She's coming back. I have not clicked on that Linda Hogan video. I just don't think I can bring myself to do it. I don't really wish anything. I don't wish anything bad on anybody, really. But I mean, she never did anything to me. Her husband never did anything to me either. I just don't care for the guy. JP says, you were like me. I was trying to find a solution rather than throwing gas on the fire. Yeah, now that's not to say I can't have moments of being, what's going on? But, that doesn't really get anything done. It doesn't really fix the problem. It just kind of exacerbates it. And I don't want to do that. Blake Christian equals Joe Schmo looking wrestler until he wrestles, for sure. Gerald says, Paige Saraya wants to be in WWE Hall of Fame. Boy, you're right about that. And you know what? Can I be honest, kids? I think we're way past the point of do people deserve, do people not deserve? I just don't. I just don't think it matters anymore, honestly. They've proven that Hall of Fame is not a true pro wrestling Hall of Fame, and it doesn't matter because it belongs to them. It is what it is. They can do whatever they want to do with it. This idea of whether or not people deserve it, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm kind of over it. He says, well, I'm not going to go into Tom Clark's best fan Hall of Fame asking for a friend. I don't think you want anything to do with that. My best friend Hall of Fame is not exactly very prestigious. Anybody catch that Swerve Strickland interview he did this week? Me and Phil were talking about this off mic on Tuesday night. Yeah, DJ Vlad, which, Phil's got thoughts on. We kind of talked about that off mic too. But he was talking about, he felt like WWE was trying to backtrack him after he and Drew Gulak worked for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship in Miami in 2021. He says, the one day I knew I was getting messed with around the PC was when I was there for like 3 or 4 months, and I got called to do 205 Live against Drew Gulak, who had the Cruiserweight Championship. At the time, 205 Live was being taped after episodes of Raw or WWE SmackDown. So we had to go last on that night in Miami after you've seen all the stars, and it was me and Drew Gulak. We went 18 minutes in the ring straight, the Cruiserweight title. Everybody's on their feet going crazy. I have Swerve's house signs like going after Roman. They're not chanting, this is awesome. They're chanting, let's go Swerve. They're actually rooting for me to win this title, and I'm losing to Drew Gulak. Got great praise in the back coming afterward. End quote. Look, we're going to say this again. This a little louder for everybody in the back. If you believe that Strickland was better off in WWE, I don't know what to say to you. They didn't know what they... It's hard for me to say they didn't know what they had. Surely they know what they had. But this guy has blossomed and become an actual megastar in AEW. And that still means something, kids. So, you know what I would say to that? Bollocks to that's what I would say. Because he is, dude, he's the top guy. He's not in WWE. He would be now. They'd probably chop him at the bit to get him back now. But he'd be crazy to go, in my opinion. The money would have to be insanely right, insanely good. And guess what? He's got other sources of revenue, I'm sure. Other revenue streams besides WWE, or AEW, excuse me. Joe says Swerve is much better in AEW. Totally agree. JB says maybe Mandy will make a one-time appearance at Evolution. She could. Sugar Shane says, I would bet if Harley Cameron was on The Masked Singer, she would win the show. That'd be just her style too, right? Dressing up. Yeah. Harley Graham. I love that so much. I cannot get enough of that. JP says, isn't it interesting that Paige left AEW right before after the Evolution pay-per-view? I'm not going to say anything because it was like a week before or 2 weeks ago that it was announced that she had re-signed with AEW, and then suddenly she's gone. You might have something there. But I don't know what we get if we pull on that thread too hard. Don't know if it go anywhere or not. Mina Shirakawa is joining AEW. She's leaving Stardom. In case you guys had not heard that, she apparently made it official on her socials. So that's cool. I like Mina a lot. Charlie Dempsey is joining Bloodsport. Man, this April 17th Bloodsport is going to be big, dude. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a show that's going to be worth watching. Yeah, it's going to be a good show, man. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a signing, of course, Dempsey, Carmen Petrovic from NXT, also Natalia Karrion Kross and Pete Dunne, Zack Sabre, Layla Hirsch, Mia Yamashita, Konami, Royce Isaacs, Micah, Shina Oaki. I can't get this guy's name. David Mossage, I can't get it. I don't want to butcher his name. Simon Gotch, Tom Lawler, and Timothy Thatcher are among the independent talent also set for the show. It's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it. And didn't I see that Earthquake and Tugboat are going into the Hall of Fame as a natural disasters? I'm sure we got some WB lifers who are happy about that. I was going to say good for him. We've lost both of them, haven't we? Aren't they both gone? Tugboat and Earthquake both are gone? Or Typhoon? What? I don't know what they're calling them. Be good for their families, though, I assume, right? Yeah, I assume. Let's see what else is going on. Again, I'm telling you, kids, there hadn't been a lot of news coming out this week, man. Unless there should be stuff that I hadn't thought about since last week. I have slept since then, but not much. Gerald says, I believe Towboat is still alive. Oh, there you go. Sean Miller says Towboat is still alive. There you go. Shane says, if Alex Hammerstone joins WWE, he'll be the next big thing. Boy, Alex Hammerstone just came down from Asgard. I'm telling you right now, that dude came down from frickin' Asgard, man. Are you kidding me? I enjoyed that guy in MLW quite a bit. Quite a bit, yeah. Well, kids, we got 10 minutes left. I would open the floor, but the floor's been open the whole hour. This is Ask Tom Anything. So, usually we open the floor with mere moments left in the show. But we're not doing that because, again, it's already been open. Been open for an hour. It's very hot in here. I don't know if the air is on in this place. I got to go out there and check that thermostat. It's like 20 feet from me. And I've walked past it 9 times today and just haven't checked. Swerve was megastar and should be champ. Dude is a beast. I think he'll be the next champ. Ray says Rex in Effect or Digital Underground. I'll go Rex in Effect. Part 2, Redman or Nas. I'll go Redman just because he's more fun. If Adam Cole invites you to the grand opening, Adam Cole, really nice sunglass store, and offers you a free pair of sunglasses, what kind would you take? I'm not big. I mean, Ray-Bans, I guess. I don't know my sunglass brand. If you also say you give a pair to a friend, would you please call me? Yes, later when you get dinner, which included a juicy steak, some tasty fries, slice of our podcast join as well. Absolutely. As long as we get some ice cream on the pie. I'm not crazy about apple pie. I like cherry pie, if I'm being honest with you. So there has been an injury that's caused change in plans for AEW Dynasty Tag Team title match. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin scheduled to defend the AEW Tag Team titles against Big Bill and Brian Keith. It was originally supposed to be Cage and Lance Archer, but Cage is dealing with a knee injury. So that's why we got the challenge from Bill and from Keith. So there you go. So I don't know when they're going to pay off this thing with the murder machines or if they're going to. So we shall see. Again, I just don't believe, in my opinion, I don't believe MJF's right for that group. But, they could pull it off. They could pull off whatever they want to. And MJF he's smooth enough that I think he can make anything work, but they're making it clear that Lashley doesn't want anything to do with it. So, yeah, we'll see. Well, kids, that's probably going to wrap it up for us here today, unless there's anything that anyone else wants to go over. Again, it's been a long week. I started this show, kicked this show off talking about my podcasting career. And, as I watch other far more successful podcasters, it can be a little frustrating. And so, I've reached the point maybe where I'm starting to question, how much am I truly enjoying this anymore? Am I getting more from it than I put into it? Those questions are hard to answer. Today's not the best day. So, those questions are just kind of hard to answer. I still enjoy doing it. That's not the issue. We're going to cover the 4th season of Ted Lasso, which is a year away, maybe more. But, I just, in the meantime, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm burned out. I don't know if I need a break or if I just need to reevaluate where my head's at. These are all things that need to be said off mic to a friend and not to you guys, because I don't want you guys to think I'm bailing or anything like that. Sean, this has not been asked. Does Cena beat Cody? They could do anything they want. But to me, I don't think you take the belt off Cody. I think it's too soon. Because my answer to whether or not it's time for a title change will remain the same regardless of what company. And here's my answer. And I'm going to try not to make it last for the rest of the 6 minutes we got left of the show. If you're going to make a title change with the World Championship, there had better be a good reason. Because unless you're just throwing titles around like you're dealing cards, then we assume you chose this person to be your world champion because you have faith in them, because you value their work, you believe they bring something to the table that the guy next to him does not, that they do something for your brand and for your company that the guy on the other side of him does not bring or add. And that also it's his time. You know he will rise to the occasion. You know that he will give everything he has. Cody's done all that and then some. You can go back and track when the uptick in business began, and it matches up to when Cody came to the company. Now, I'm not saying Cody gets 100% credit. I don't know what the percentage would be. Maybe it's 70-30. But I'm telling you, if we can all flash back in the Wayback Machine for just a scoosh, people were tired of the Roman Reigns stuff. All y'all were complaining about it. I was too. And it's like, God, when's this guy ever going to drop this title? And then Cody came. And then everything started to change. So here's my answer. If you're seriously thinking about taking the belt off Cody, boy, that better be a good plan. Because you are going to directly affect your business. Turning John Cena heel in 2025 when he is less than part-time doesn't really move the needle in terms of losing sales, losing merch, losing, goodwill because Cena's so well liked and loved. But taking the belt off Cody in 2025 could do more damage perhaps than it would do good for the guy you're giving it to. That's just me talking, just my opinion. But I'm not behind the curtain. I don't know. If you said you really want the title on a part-time wrestler, again, we've seen how well that has worked before. And I'll be honest with you, if they were to do a switch, I think we'd see John all the time. I just don't think he'd be wrestling all the time. But then again, Roman doesn't wrestle all the time either when he was champion. He don't wrestle all the time now. You know what I mean? I would like to hope that John would be around. For sure. For sure. JP, I appreciate your kind words. Gerald, same to you, my friend. 4 minutes, kids. What else we got? What else you guys got for me? Man, I got to get that air going. It is absolutely, I'm in an oven in this place right now, dude. I am roasting alive. Roasting! Roast 10, not roasting. Huh? Yeah. Hey, man, what are you going to do? All right, kids, I think that's probably going to do it for us. We're going to get out of here and start the weekend. Before we go, I'm going to remind you of a couple of things. BoinkStudios.com, B-O-I-N-K, BoinkStudios.com. If you will, go check it out. Bookmark the site. I greatly appreciate it. Check us out on the YouTube at Boink Studios. You can leave the show review on all the podcast platforms. All the links to all of our shows on all the podcast channels are on BoinkStudios.com. Okay, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Podcasts, you name it. Apple Podcasts, of course. All the links are there. Not only to Tom Clark's Main Event, but Tom Clark's 6M Podcast, which is a geek culture / pop culture podcast. This past week, we put out a great episode on Sly Lives, The Burden of Black Genius. It's a great documentary on Sly and the Family Stone, specifically on Sly. If you've not checked it out, it's well worth your time, and we hope you enjoyed the show. We had a lot of fun doing it. And also, Two Nations Under Ted Lasso podcast. All 3 seasons of the Ted Lasso show have been reviewed in both video and audio formats with myself, Jay Luft, and Joe Higgins, who are across the pond in the UK. So hence the title, Two Nations Under Ted. We had a blast doing that show. I can't wait to do something else with those guys full time. So please go check that out as well. And also, kids, if you will, please leave the show review here on the Facebook. If you've not done that, please do so, and you'll get a cookie. All right? I'm getting out of here, folks, to start the weekend. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please tell your friends about this show. Thanks to all you wrestling fans and maybe casual wrestling fans that give me your time of day. It means loads to me. And as always, I appreciate you very much. We'll see you next week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Everybody, have a great and safe weekend. Yeah. And we will see you soon, kids. Thanks for watching. See you next time.